Beast Boxer here. So the purpose of this is to show you guys how to utilize boxing in the most efficient way possible, right? You're gonna learn how to maneuver yourself. You're gonna learn how to defend. You're gonna learn how to attack. All those things, you're gonna learn all the different nuances of boxing, and you're gonna learn it in the most efficient way possible. I do not do fancy boxing. I do efficient boxing. If you want to turn it fancy, that's completely up to you. It's like, I'm going to give you a tool and it's up to the user how to utilize it. But I'm not going to teach you all those little fancy, movements that you see a lot of other fighters do and so forth and so on. That's not what I'm about. I'm about teaching you how to do things the most efficient way possible for you to be effective and also for you to be protected while doing so. Now, a lot of y'all have questions about my mask. Well, number one, my face is being used contractually and elsewhere, so therefore I can't show it to you. Number two, mind your business. But either way, that doesn't change the fact that I'm going to teach you good, effective boxing. If you want to stay, great. We welcome you. If not, so that being said, let's move on to how to maneuver ourselves structural-wise for boxing. Right? You want to have your left foot forward and your right foot back and out. You want to have it about shoulder length apart. Now, obviously, if you're left-handed, you can just change the stance. You just mirror the stance and go from there. I'm not going to explain both sides. All you have to do is just mirror the exact same thing, and it'll be the same thing. All right. So now, your front foot and your chest pointing at your opponent. Your back foot is going to be slightly back and out, right? Shoulder length apart. That's going to give you balance. The two things you can never do with bad balance is that you cannot attack and you cannot defend properly. So you always want to make sure that your balance is on point. So from there, you want to have a slight sit in your hips and a slight bend in your knees, just slight. You don't want to give up any of your height. You just want to have just enough to give you mobility while you're doing what you're doing, right? So now the flat part of your hand, you want to have that on your cheek. And you want to press against your cheek and then keep your elbows in. My strongest advice is to learn how to keep your hands here and press them in. Keep a little tension on them. It doesn't have to be crazy, but keep a little tension on them and then close your fist down like you're trying to grab the inside of your palm tightly. All right? So from there, you want to work on having that tension there. Once again, it doesn't have to be tight, but you just want to work on having that tension there. Now, whenever you're moving, if you're moving forward, you're going to push off your back foot and step. All right? You never want to cross your feet when you're moving. So whatever direction you're going, that foot's going to move first. If I'm moving backwards, I want to push off my front foot and step back. If I want to move to my right, I want to push off my left foot and step over to my right. If I want to move to my left, I want to push off my right foot and step to my left. I always want to maintain the same spacing as I'm moving around, all right? Clearly, you're going to have more spacing when you step, but you want to close that gap by going back to your original form. A lot of times you'll have people will just either move the foot back into the space and then cross the legs. You never want to cross your legs when you're moving, all right? Because like I said before, your balance is going to be the key thing when anything that you're doing. If it's messed up, then you're done for. So when you're moving, you always want to make sure that you're maintaining the same balance and the same spacing as you're moving. So if I'm moving, I'm stepping here. All right. I don't want to step here and then step here because now I'm too wide. And I definitely don't want to step here and then step here because now I'm crossing. I want to always make sure that my legs are spaced in the proper positions as I'm moving. So if I'm moving forward, same spacing. Moving backwards, same spacing. And don't forget about the push. Do not forget about the push. You want to get used to pushing your body in whatever direction because now that'll allow you to move a heck of a lot quicker and maintain your balance as you're doing so. If you're stepping over and then pulling your body, that's going to take a whole lot more effort, makes you a lot slower, and then rob you of any power that you can generate. All right? So you always want to make sure that you're pushing. So don't forget, You're pushing forward, you're pushing back, you're pushing to the left, and you're pushing to the right. Right? You want to make sure that you utilize those legs and keep them arms in position as you're doing so. Don't have this open thing or whatever other stuff that people can do. You don't even need to turn. Right? I would advise against turning at all. So you're turning, excuse me, you're stepping over, you're stepping over, you're stepping back, you're stepping forward. All right? Always pushing. Always pushing. Now, if you want to practice a more quicker way to do so, just have the back foot up a little bit and then you can push. All right, one of your foot have to be down. So just make sure that you keep one leg down or one foot down, and then the other one, the back one, can be up if you want to. This is what you never want. All right, that's more of a different style of fighting. You definitely don't want that one, I promise you. All right, you want to keep the front foot down, back one can be up, and you can maneuver however you see fit. All right, do yourself a favor, practice slowly, don't rush it, and then just continue to keep building on. I would give it about a good 20-minute practice a day, right? And if you want to add more onto it, that's fine. But at the minimum, 20-minute practice a day, work on it. When you feel that you've got it down, then you go on to the next thing, and then the next thing. And then I'll continue to supply you as much videos as possible for you until you get better, right? Best of luck out there.